Shades of Shakti, presented by the Drs. Kiran and Pallavi Patel Foundation for Global Understanding.
I'm Nisha Mathur, and welcome to Shades of Shakti, a celebration of South Asian women. We celebrate the lives of inspirational South Asian women who have blazed trails and pushed past challenges. Tania Rashid's global identity led her to a career in journalism with a desire to make a difference and bring attention to issues that affect women across the globe. Tania set on a mission to highlight the routine abuse of Indian women and a nation that needs to wake up to violence against women. Tania displays tremendous courage, Shakti, as she exposes some critical and sensitive topics. We caught her in the middle of all the action at the Vice News office in Brooklyn, New York.
I'm on the road to Sylhet to investigate gang rapes that have been happening throughout the region.
The Sylhet region has a population of over 10 million, but there are no official statistics for the number of rape cases.
Tania, welcome to Shades of Shakti. The Shakti you have shown through your work is absolutely incredible. But before we get into your work, I'd like to backtrack a bit to your childhood. Tell us what it was like growing up in Saudi Arabia, Bangladesh. What was life like?
Well, I moved from one isolated place to another. So I started in Saudi Arabia, where my father was working, and I was born in Al-Baha, the King Fahd Hospital. At a very early age, I learned through watching my mother what it felt like to be an outsider. She couldn't go out walking by herself. She couldn't vote. She couldn't drive a car, and she had to always wear burqa. So then my father had the American dream, and we moved to Bangladesh, where he had kept on applying for his visa. And he left us, and I was starting school in Bangladesh. And then by chance, we won a lotto visa, and we ended up meeting my dad in Utah.
But what a transition to Utah.
Yeah.
The only brown Muslim girl in your class, a community of Caucasian Mormons.
Yes.
What kind of racism did you face, if any?
Well, we were there during the Gulf War, and we were the only brown family living there, and we would have rocks thrown at our window with messages on them saying, "Go back to where you came from."
What drew you to a career in journalism? Was it your childhood years and your experiences?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I saw a lot of injustices throughout my childhood. Even in Bangladesh, you will see women being treated a particular way. In Saudi Arabia, my mother being treated a particular way. Me realizing I was brown and didn't belong at a very young age. All those things led me to want to give voice to the voiceless. But rather, I'm here to get the story that no one else can get. I have this unique place and access in the world that people need to hear and see. And I hope that with the stories I did in Bangladesh, that I brought that type of presence.
Tania traveled to Sylhet in Bangladesh and met with both perpetrators and victims of rape to find out what is driving men to rape and what steps the authorities are taking to put an end to it. And you definitely did get into some of these communities. Your documentary, A Crime Unpunished, Bangladeshi Gang Rape, is based on a UN report saying that 1 in 8 men in rural Bangladesh admits to having committed rape. Tell us about this documentary and what drew you to this topic.
Well, I had been working on this story for about a year, and I had gotten the access and everything. It took time. It wasn't something I just thought up in one day. And then we just went for it. And I spoke to gang rapists. I interviewed a woman who was gang raped by several men. I interviewed local leaders to see what they think. And I got a really overall picture of how men perceive women in the country.
So you interviewed victims, perpetrators, the police department. Tell us a perspective of the police commander that you interviewed.
You see, the police commander I interviewed said that it is primarily the woman's fault for being raped. That because she is dressed in a particular way or going out at a certain time at night, she's asking for it. And you see, the policeman's perspective is the perspective of many men throughout the country. Not just the men, but even women think that way. And that's something that I had seen with my own eyes.
আমি তো বললাম যে অনেকটাই প্রেমের কারণে অবৈধ মেলামেশা করতে গিয়ে অনেক সময় হয়তো জনগণের চোখে পড়ে যায়। পরবর্তীকালে সামাজিকতা রক্ষার কারণে আমাদের কাছে মামলার একটা দাঁড় করে যে আমাকে জোর করে নিয়ে গেছে। বাস্তবতা কিন্তু তারা আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ডিংয়ের মাধ্যমে যায় সেক্সুয়াল কন্টাক্টে।
তো এই জিনিসগুলো যে হয় এগুলো কি বেশিরভাগ মেয়েদের দোষ থাকে না ছেলেদের দোষ?
আমি উভয়েরই বলবো যে উভয়েরই, তবে ম্যাক্সিমাম দোষ বলে আমি বললাম তো যে মেয়েরা যদি আরেকটু পর্দানশীল হয়, আমি যদি আপনার প্রতি কোনো জিনিস দেখে আকৃষ্ট না হই, এরকম কোনো কিছু করা যাবে না, যাতে আমাকে আকৃষ্ট করার জন্য কোনো কিছু করা হোক।
Gang rapes in India are evidence of an entrenched social problem. 1 in 8 men in Bangladesh admit to having committed rape. Tanya's trip to Sylhet in Bangladesh is eye-opening. More after the break. For Tanya, the perfect topic to report is the one that is not being reported enough. One such topic is the one of gang rape, inspired by her previous reporting experience in Bangladesh. You also interviewed perpetrators, men who actually admitted to committing rape. What was most shocking in your chat with them?
Their sense of remorse. I didn't expect them to be so guilt-ridden. And I think that was partly because they were looking at the face of who they rape. I am a Bangladeshi American woman.
না হইলেই না সেটুকু হয়তো আমরা প্রশ্ন করলে ভালো হবে, নাহলে আবার দেখা যাচ্ছে যে উঠে গেলে তখন আমরা ঠেকাইতে পারবো না।
মানে
আমি বলতে চাচ্ছি যে যতটুকু না হইলেই না।
আসসালামু আলাইকুম।
Have you ever gang raped women?
একবার হয়েছিল।
কেমনে মেয়েকে পাইছেন?
এই সন্ধ্যার টাইমে একা রাস্তায় যাচ্ছিল, এই সময় আমরা বন্ধু বান্ধব মিলে একসঙ্গে বসে বইয়ের অনুমানিক 22-23 হবে। আমরা ওর দৌড়া হাওড়ে নিয়ে ইয়ে করছিলাম।
How were the women that they gang raped?
সব খুবই ভালো ছিল না, তা অসুবিধাই আসছিল। তার অত কিছু তো আমরা এটা জানি না, তো এটা শেষ হয়ে গেছে। এটা তো বড় খারাপ কাজ, এটা করলে এটা সবার চোখেই অপরাধী হয়ে থাকে। আল্লাহর কাছে মানুষের সমাজে দুশ্মন হওয়া লাগে, যাতে আমাদের এটা দিতে করে না, এটাই আমরা চাচ্ছি, এটাই আমরা বলতে চাই।
Okay.
Tanya visited a mosque where she was the only woman present. Tanya, you also dared to enter a mosque where only men were allowed to pray. What part of that conversation with some of the men in the mosque shocked you the most? How did they justify this crime?
It's this widespread thing in rural Bangladesh with the imams and the local religious figures to think that women are supposed to be a particular way. And yes, women are not allowed to pray there. Women are not allowed to even step foot inside of a mosque. So for me, I was stepping into very dangerous territory.
লোকায়িতভাবে কোনো মানুষ যদি তাকে কোনো পুরুষ যদি পায় না, কোনো মহিলাকে যদি পায় না, তাইলে সে কোনোদিন জিনা করবে না, অন্য অশ্লীল কাজে যাবে না, খুনার কাজ থেকে বেঁচে থাকবে।
যে মেয়েরা বাইরে একলা একলা ঘুরে রাত্রেবেলা, এটা কি মনে হয়, এটা কি ঠিক?
কোনো মহিলা একা একা চলাফেরা করলে তখন কোনো পুরুষ যদি তার দৃষ্টির মধ্যে মহিলা পড়ে, তাইলে মহিলা পড়ার কারণে তার দৃষ্টিটা সে আবদ্ধ রাখতে পারবে না, তার মধ্যে তার দৃষ্টিটা অটল রাখতে পারবে না। বিদায় সে কী করবে, এই মহিলাকে মানে অশ্লীল কাজের জন্য নেওয়ার জন্য চেষ্টা করবে।
ইসলামে কি লেখা আছে যে মহিলাদের কেমনভাবে থাকতে হয়?
মহিলাদের দোষ হয়, মহিলাদের যে পর্দাপুশিদা আছে, সেই পর্দাপুশিদা যদি ঠিকমতো সে পালন করে নিত, তাইলে তাদের কোনো দোষ হতো না।
যারা পর্দা করে না তাদের দোষ আছে, কিন্তু যারা পর্দা পরে ঘুরে আর তাদের গণধর্ষণ হয়, তাদের দোষ হয়ে যায়।
যারা পর্দা করে, যারা গণধর্ষণ করে না, তাদের হেফাজত থাকে, তাদের সব কিছু হেফাজত থাকে। আর যারা পর্দা করে না, তারা গণধর্ষণ করে, তারা চির জাহান্নামী হয়।
I just want to get out of here.
When we return, Tanya takes us to Rahima, a victim of gang rape who shares her heartbreaking story. Although it's a crime punishable by death, there are no accurate government figures for rape in Bangladesh, largely due to social stigma and a failure by local authorities to investigate alleged crimes. Tanya, you made your way over to a woman who was actually gang raped, and it wasn't an easy journey. You had many in your way getting to her. What was the most heart-wrenching aspect of talking to Rahima?
Well, the process of getting to her was really difficult because the people controlling us from speaking to her were all men. They were men in the community, local leaders, journalists, I don't know what some of their titles were. And they were all on this tiny boat. And if you noticed in the film, we were all on this tiny boat that I thought was going to sink.
They were all with you in the boat?
Yeah, to go and see Rahima. Without them, we couldn't secure our access. But when I saw her, of course, I mean, on one hand, I'm a journalist, but on another hand, I'm a human. And to hear that she had been through such atrocious things and just being blamed for it by society, by everyone, and she just stays in her room all the time because of it, it's heart-wrenching.
আর আপু, আপনাকে আমি একটু জিজ্ঞেস করব যে ওই রাতে আপনার যে কি হয়েছিল ওই বিষয় নিয়ে।
রাত তো মনে হয় রাত গেছি অন্তনে প্রার্থনে আমি আইসা আমার মন ধরে বিয়ার কিতে আইসলাম গাইতে মারিলাম মারা বাদেও 3-4 গো 6-7 গো পাতাই করে হয় লইয়া গাইতে নামাইয়া লাইটাইতে মুরগাইছে, তাওয়া মারছে, চোর মারছে, গালা মারছে, কিল মারছে। নিয়া বাদে না স্কুল করে হারাইছে, হারানি বাদে স্কুল করে না, স্কুলের তালা ভাঙছে লাইটাইয়া, তার একবারে সারা কাপড় উপর খুলে সবটা খুলে গেছে, বুরকা ভিন্ন আছে, বুরকা খুলে গেছে কাপড় উপর।
কয়জন?
3 জন আছে, 6 জন আমার 3 জনে মনে করো কিতা করছে আর 3 জনে নাই। আর আমার স্বামী মাইল খাইয়া দৌড়িয়া আমার চাচা উড়ে একজন আছে পারো লইয়া দেন তেও বার করে দে না, না দিতাম না, তারা মারামারি করে। তাই দিয়া নিয়েছেন নেওয়া বাদ দেয়া তো আমার অন্তনে বাঁচিয়া লিয়েছে না, তারা চাকি হইলে খাইতে পালাইল না, যে কষ্ট হয়েছে
কষ্ট।
وانا تميز أوري دواني تماني كي راسات كده وجا اختيارهم برو كازوانو اختيارك كده وهم يار تخربطه.
The perspective of authorities in Sylhet is astounding. Tanya, do you think the mindset of authorities is ever going to change where they can instill fear in these men and put a stop to this kind of crime?
There are laws in place to put men in jail in Bangladesh. Men who rape can go to jail and can even be put to death. But the problem is that it trickles down to enforcement. When it comes down to the police, they get bukshish, which is bribe. And then the police just say, let's pay the girls off, let the perpetrator free, and nothing happens.
Bangladesh is one of the few Muslim nations where prostitution is legal, and the country's largest brothel is called Dolatia, where more than 1,600 women and girls sell themselves to thousands of men every day. Tanya made her way to this region of exploitation of women.
This is Dalotia, the largest brothel in Bangladesh. Dalotia is home to over 2,000 sex workers, many of whom are victims of sexual slavery, and their numbers are increasing. The size of a small town, Dolotia sits between a major railway station and a ferry terminal.
Tanya, in one of your documentaries, you entered Dolatia. Tell us about the people, the environment. What was that area like?
Dalatia is the largest brothel in Bangladesh, and it houses several thousand sex workers. I went there to initially look at cow fattening pills given to young girls aged between, I want to say, between 12 and 14. So it started as a film on these cow fattening steroids and the impacts they have on these young girls' health. Then, after spending many days there, it turned into a film about a portrait of the brothel, because I was building these intimate relationships with a lot of the sex workers. And so then one after another, it just hit us that we should really be exploring the whole issue of drug abuse there and what type of clientele likes to come into the brothel. And in essence, it was just an overall portrait of the life and the environment of the brothel. Here I am, and I'm understanding what they go through. And yes, it's a very filthy environment. It's unhygienic. It's dangerous, because the night before we were filming, a guy was murdered and stabbed to death in the brothel. And the brothel is run by local mafia lords who control everything.
Dolatia in Bangladesh is one of the largest brothels in the world. Tanya tells us the tales of this bleak world after the break. The Dolatia brothel is one of the largest brothels in the world. Behind a massive alleyways live 1,600 women and girls who depend on prostitution for survival. Tanya talks to a madam to get her perspective. Tanya, speaking of the madam, you interviewed a brothel madam. What was she saying, and what was your conversation with her like?
Well, I had a very interesting conversation with the madame. For one, she explained to me that she used to be a sex worker within the brothel, and she worked her way up into becoming a madame, and now she lives comfortably.
আপনি কি চান সুন্দর দেখতে মেয়ে না
না,
মোটা নাকি
না
শুকনা?
এ জায়গায় মেয়ে ব্যবসা করলে হলো বেশি সুন্দরও দরকার নাই, মোটাও দরকার নাই, যেমন মিডিয়াম সাইজ হইলেই পারি ব্যবসাটা ভালো থাকে। কিছু কালো মেয়ে আছে মুখ গোমরা করে থাকে, চলবে না। তেমন এইসব বয়সের মেয়েরা এগো কাছে
আপনার মেয়ে?
আমার বাড়ির বাড়িতে যেমন এইসব মেয়েগো কাছে লোক আইব কত, এর কাছে একটা লোক আসবে কত দিয়ে, 100 দিয়ে। আর এই যে তো চেহারা ভালো না, এ সারাদিনে একটা লোকও পায় না।
She also said that she put her on cow fattening pills to make her bigger and plumper.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about that. I know that's a big thing in that area. What is that for, and how does it work?
It's this phenomenon that happened there. I mean, the men in the brothels prefer young girls. But not only do they prefer young girls, they want girls who have more curves. And the madams give the girls these steroids, these cow fattening pills, to plump them up. In essence, gain more weight. The problem is that a lot of them have issues with their kidneys, their blood pressure goes up, and there have been cases of some girls dying from it because it's not healthy to be taking that. So one of the madams I interviewed told me that she had her girls taking that, and I interviewed one of the girls that was on it.
বেটলিন অথবা ওরাডেক্সন এগুলো খাওয়ান?
না, আমার মেয়েগুলা এটির একটাও খায় না। এই যে এটারে আমি কয়টা খাওয়াইছিলাম,
যেটা সামনে আছে।
এটা আরো শুকনো ছিল, এটা পাটখড়ির মতো শুকনো ছিল, একলা খালি এইভাবে আড্ডিগুলো ছিল। আমি 15 দিনের মতন খাওয়াইছি, খাইলে পরে শরীরটা একটু ভালো।
So she has been taking steroids to gain weight so that she can get more customers.
You interviewed some of the sex workers, and I think your conversation was it was just so deep, and it just made you really think about what these girls are going through and their perspective on their fate. Tell us a little bit about what they think about their fate.
I had very candid moments with the young sex workers. In fact, we spent several days there, like 7 or 10 days. And with each of them, it was so important for me to build a relationship before jumping into personal questions. So those conversations you see are from days of spending time with them and getting to know them. And the overall impression I received from the girls were that they were just jaded, and that this is their reality that they have to live in. A sense of just apathy. And to me, that was heartbreaking to see that there was no dream. And one lady I interviewed said that what dream? I have no dreams. I just have a client, he comes in and he leaves. And that's my life.
At the age of 16, Shuma is technically a minor under Bangladeshi law, but she's working as a prostitute.
The power's gone out, so we've got to light some candles so I can actually see her when I talk to her.
ভালো লাগে না, এটা একটা জগৎ। আজকে যদি বাড়ি থাকতাম, আব্বা আমার 10টা দেখে একটা বিয়ে দিত না, স্বামীর সংসার করতাম, একটা সন্তান হতো, কতই না ফুর্তি আলাদা থাকতো। আর এই জগতে থাকি কেউ দাম দিবার চায়, আমাদের কেউ দেয় না, মানে এমন একটা জগৎ এটা।
And a lot of these girls were actually tricked into becoming sex workers, is that correct?
Yes, a lot of the young girls are brought in by dalals, who are brokers, and they bring the girls in and sell them to the madams. And then they end up owing, say, one of the girls I interview owes about $400 to get herself out of the brothel. And so they're stuck paying that debt off, which takes, if you're getting $1 per client, many, many years, if not their whole lives. So in essence, it just becomes their own world.
দালাল নিয়ে আসার পরে দেওয়া হলো মেডিসিন খাওয়ালো, মেডিসিন খাওয়াতে দলু দিয়ে নিয়ে আসলো।
তুমি কতদিন ধরে এখানে?
এখানে 3.5 বছর। বাড়িতে যাইতে পারতেছি না কিছু দিনাটার জন্য, দিনাটা যদি সুদে দেয় তাহলে আমি বাড়িতে যাইতে পারবো।
Tania, both these documentaries, the one you did on gang rape and visiting this brothel, what was the most heart-wrenching aspect? What really pulled you at your heartstrings from these stories that you covered?
When I see myself, I look in the mirror, I see 10,000 of my ancestors standing behind me and pushing me forward to bring light to issues that people are not talking about. And I feel that women who are suffering represent me and my grandmother, my great-grandmother, and my mother. And so I'm out there to tell these stories because that's what I'm meant here to do, if that makes any sense.
Of course it does. Thank you so much, Tania, and thank you for the wonderful work that you are doing, and we want you to continue doing so because I think that through your work you will make a difference. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tania hopes that through her documentaries she can impact the masses to help women. In India, a woman is raped every 20 minutes, and only 25% of rape perpetrators in documented cases are arrested or face conviction. We must devote resources to comprehensive solutions, end impunity in cases of sexual violence, and ensure that laws are fully enforced. Our women of Shakti show us that we need to embrace our power, find our voice, and believe in our dreams. Keep your emails coming in at shadesofshakti@tvasiausa.com and visit our Facebook page for updates on our series. I'm Nisha Mathur, reminding you that it's time to celebrate. It's time to focus on your inner desires, build self-confidence, and create the life you want to live.